Hello there, my quilty friends. I was going to show today some of the utility stitches on your sewing machine that you can use for quilting. It's a little bit of fun and it can be really fast to do. It adds a little bit of interest. I started thinking about this because a friend of mine had an illness that meant her hands were shaking, and she was finding it difficult to control a straight stitch. So I started looking and I seen the 3-step zigzag on my sewing machine, which is this stitch here, which when you actually use it to begin with is like that. But I've opened it up and lengthened the stitch, and you get a lovely flowing stitch that's quicker than stitching straight, actually, that you can use. I then add another little lock, and these are all basic utility stitches. This one is, the second one is the blind hem stitch, which actually, as it starts, is pretty good, but I've made the stitch length a little longer as I've gone along. And the third one I've used is a gathering or elastic stitch, which sort of at default is this size, but I've opened that up, and that would make a really interesting stitch to use as well. You don't want any stitches that are too tight. You don't want any satiny stitches, but these open ones work really well. I like to use an open-toed walking foot. That's an open-toed one. This one here is a closed toe one. As you can see, it's this front bit here. That's closed in on that one, and it's open on this one. It means you can see exactly where your stitches are landing. It's just more helpful. So I'll give you a little demo now, and I'll show you the 3-step zigzag. This is how it starts. This is how it is at default on my machine. So it starts off at quite, you know, like this, quite tight together. And I'm going to stop now, and I'm going to alter the stitch length. It was 0.5. I'm going to take it up to 1 on my machine, and that opens it up a little. And then if I take the stitch length up, I'm going to double it now to 2. So it's the stitch length you're changing, and that will give you a more open one. You'll see these at the end now. And then if you want to go up to 3, that'll give you an even more open one. There you go. See how quick that's moving? I mean, I can take it up a little further, 3.5, which isn't a huge stitch really, and that will give you an even longer run. So let's just move that round for you to see. So it started off quite small and it's gone longer, and that you can do a seam really quick, quilt really quickly using that. The next stitch I'm going to use is the blind hem stitch, and this one works quite well straight out of the box. This one is the default setting on mine. Taking that down so far, and I'll alter the, you can alter the stitch length, you can alter the width on this one as well. So I'll make the stitch length a little longer, and the stitch width, which would mean that little V bite will be longer. There we go. And the third one I'm going to use is a gathering stitch. So this is a utility stitch on your sewing machine, a gathering stitch. And this is how it, I'll show you that now, and then I'll alter it a little bit. Actually, that was it lengthened. And if I take it back down to its original, there you go. This is what it looks like originally. I'll lengthen that again. I'll take that up to 4 this time. My stitch length goes from 0 to 6, just to give you an idea, because all machines are slightly different. Okay, let's try that. And there's the third one. That's the gathering stitch as it defaults to. That was on 3 and this one's on stitch length 4. So you can see you can use, you can use these. They're quite open stitches that you could use just something different in your quilting work. I hope we'll have a try and have a little bit of fun. Thanks. Bye.